Hi,
Hi.
welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, thanks. To start off, can you just tell me your name?
My name is Jiwoo Kim,
And can you spell that for me?
Jiwoo, and then Kim.
Kim. Great. Are you working or studying right now?
I am actually a graduate student right now, studying English literature.
And where is your hometown?
I am currently living in Ilsan, which is not a part of Seoul. It's a part of Gyeonggi province in a city named Goyang. And it's, I guess you could call it a suburb, the suburb area. And I have been living there for about 10 years.
Good, good, good. What do you like about your hometown?
I like that it's less crowded compared to Seoul because I sometimes work in Seoul. I go to school in Seoul, so I know how crowded Seoul can be. But when I go home, it's a lot more relaxing. I have a very big park in front of my apartment building, so it's a lot calmer.
Good. And is there anything you dislike about your hometown?
I dislike the transportation system around my hometown because it's very far, and for me to get to a subway station, it takes about 30 minutes by a bus, and even the bus doesn't come very regularly, so that's a bit of a pain, but other than that, I'm okay with it.
Okay, good, good. And can you tell me about some of your hobbies? What do you do in your free time?
I usually lie down in bed and play games on my phone. I like to joke that I'm an invertebrate because I lie down like a spineless animal. But yeah, that's my favorite thing to do, just play games on my phone, have a podcast playing in the background, and that's about it.
Good, good. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit now about studying. You're a student right now. What do you study?
I study English literature.
Literature?
I'm a master's student right now, and I heard that it's a little weird to talk about what you're focusing on as a master's student, but to be a little bit more precise than literature, I study Irish drama.
Yeah. And do you enjoy it?
I have a love and hate relationship with it. I mean, I definitely enjoy it enough to choose the path of pursuing my studies, but I hate it at times because it makes me feel very stupid.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Do you look forward to finishing and beginning work?
In the near future,
Yeah.
I'm planning on it because this is my fourth semester as a master's student, and usually a master's program would end about in a 2-year, 3-year type of situation. I haven't gotten started on my thesis yet, so that's a bit of a problem. But other than that, I'm planning to graduate next summer.
Okay,
So
great.
after that, maybe I could start working.
Good, good. And one final question. Do you prefer to study in the morning or the afternoon or the evening?
I am a night owl, so I definitely prefer to study at night or in around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That's when I function the best. I'm definitely not a morning person. I usually sleep till around noon or 1 p.m.
Okay, great. Great, great. Well, that's a good start. From there, we can transition to part 2.
Good.
And in part 2 of the exam, as you may know, we have one prompt. And this is the prompt. You'll have a minute to take notes and prepare. And then you want to try to speak for 2 minutes.
Okay.
So take a moment to read that, make some notes, and in a minute we can get started. Okay, that's a minute there.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right. So the person that came to mind is a singer named Yoonha, and I think she just popped up in my head because I was just listening to her song while I was on the subway here. And she is a singer. I think she debuted around the early 2000s. So she's been singing for quite some time, as far as I know. And I know that she is currently a a very big hit because of this one song called Event Horizon. And from what I remember, this song came out around like February this year. So it's been a while. But then during the fall, she's been performing in a lot of university festivals. And that's when a lot of people who didn't know about this song started recognizing it. And they've started listening to it. And it's now back on the charts and everything. So that's what she's done. And I think she's popular because she sings really effortlessly. You know, all the high notes, all the vibrato and stuff, she does it so amazingly yet effortlessly. And I am sort of in awe of this person now. So she comes to mind. She's the person that came to mind.
Okay, great. One or two follow-ups. What style of music would you say?
I think she does like a soft rock / band type of music.
Okay.
She plays the keyboard and there's like a backup band behind her whenever she sings live. I can't say that I'm sure for all of her songs though, because I haven't listened to that many songs of hers yet.
Okay, good. And is she really popular at the moment?
I think she is,
Yeah,
yes.
well known. Okay, great.
Good.
Very good, very good. With that, we can move on to part 3.
All right.
If you're ready. So I'll just ask a range of questions here. And the first one is, what kind of people are popular at work?
At work, I think people who are, I think for Koreans, I think people who are really good at drinking and love alcohol are usually very popular. I wanted to say that people who do their jobs really well would be popular, but I think that that's not always the case. So yeah, people who are outgoing and are always willing to go for a drink afterwards are very popular.
Okay. And do you think bosses are more popular than employees at work?
I don't think so normally, because if you say in a boss and employee type of situation, there's always a hierarchy. And even if you're a very outgoing person and you're very casual, it's hard to forget that that person's your boss and you know they have the power to stop giving you money at one point. So yes, I think it takes a lot of effort for a boss to be very popular at work.
Okay, good. And which do you think is more important? Keeping a good relationship with colleagues or being well or doing well or being good at your job?
I personally want to be the person who is good at their job, but to be popular, I think maintaining a good relationship with your colleagues is a little bit better, and therefore it seems like that's the better person. That's the better employee to have at workplace sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more question. What benefits are there when a child is popular at school?
Benefits. I think they would get a lot of Valentines or gifts. They would have a lot of friends wanting to come to their birthday parties. Yeah.
Yeah. And how would that impact the child's life in school?
I think being very popular from a very young age would impact a child to not have as many problems in their social life. Probably normally because they would always have people who want to be with them, who would want to be with them. And but at the same time, I feel like that would always also help, not help them, impact them in ways where they won't be able to fulfill certain things as well when they have challenges faced in front of them, because they wouldn't have had to try so hard in the past. Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, really nicely done. And with that, we can move on to the feedback.
All right.
All right. So, as you probably know, the IELTS is scored on 4 categories. There's fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. You are a very strong speaker across the board. You did an excellent job on
Thank
this
you.
exam. So we'll just make a few comments on each category. In terms of fluency, you speak naturally, really no pauses other than the natural pause that is needed to find a word or find a phrase.
Yeah.
So that's really as strong as it can get. I noticed no additional hesitation. Your vocabulary is great. I noticed not just a range of words, but also idioms and uncommon words and native-like collocations. You said things like a love and hate relationship, which is a very common natural phrase. Instead of just saying transportation, you referred to the transportation system, which is a good advanced way to say that. And then there were really uncommon words like an invertebrate to describe how you relax at home. That was great. Hierarchy is another one of these more academic kind of words that are very good to use. And also, I think, refer to yourself as a night owl.
Yes.
Again, good idiomatic language that that reaches into the top IELTS bands. Moving on, more good things to say. Your grammar is very good. A range of tenses, present, perfects, perfect continuous, so things like she has been performing, which are very good to mark when things are happening and the relationship. And also good advanced phrases like, I guess you could call it, to introduce some uncertainty or to show how you feel about something. I think you also said, from what I remember, which is a very good way to say that I'm not 100% sure.
Exactly, yeah.
To add that nuance. So that was very good. Your pronunciation is also very good.
Thank you.
Clear throughout. No issues with single words or stress, and there is a sort of natural rhythm of a rise and fall to your speech. So that was overall excellent. And in terms of the parts, you answered all of the questions in enough detail. The part 2 answer was about the right amount of time. The only area that maybe for improvement would be part 3, and it's not really language; it's more of an approach to the questions.
Right. Yes.
I know it's a little bit hard because we just sort of change topics on you, and there's no pause, and here come questions. But if there were any way to give slightly longer answers,
Right, yeah.
In part 3, that would be the only area I can think of to work on.
Okay.
So, for example, explaining why people might be popular at work, maybe going on to elaborate with a short reason would be helpful.
I felt like I was going off on a rant there, so I was trying to cut myself off a little bit.
It's okay. It's a very good job. And then I think it's a somewhat tricky question the way it's phrased. Which one is more important, keeping a good relationship with colleagues or doing well at work? It feels like a strange choice.
Right.
And I think you struggled partly as a result of the question, but practicing those if you really really wanted to push forward. You did an excellent job.
Thank you.
And really thank you for coming in, and it was nice to meet you.
Oh, it was nice to meet you too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.